What we have here today is a set of multi-tools from two different companies that are modular and each have a network of tools that can replace the loadout. Now, this is the GOAT multi-tool. This is something people think of when you say modular anymore because it's just been released. Just today, I was able to get the brass scales for this. And I think most people that order the brass scales probably got in silver, but I had ordered the black, so I've got black and gold on mine. They're fairly easy to replace. They come with their own Allen wrench and some silver screws and then 4 brass scales. The hardest one in that is actually the pocket clip one, and I actually used a heat gun and then I was able to get the screw loose, and then I had to almost over tighten the replacement screw, and unfortunately now it doesn't open quite as smooth, but at least it does lock into place. When I didn't have it tighter, the handles were sort of wobbling. So I think it looks pretty sharp and it's going to take a little bit getting used to, but I wanted a tool, multi-tool that looked completely different from anything else. So pretty happy with the GOAT multi-tool rather, and all that it has to offer. Since I've done the mod to the plier handles, so there's a gap there now where you can actually cut wire. So I'm happy that the whole tool now is useful. So one of the things I wanted to mention is that I think what is forgotten is that SOG has had for years a modular system, and to this day they still support it. So what happens is you can actually use the exact same wrench that comes with the GOAT multi-tool, and you can get your SOG Powerlock, and this is the other side of the screw. There it is right there. And then you can take this frame apart. You move the screw right there, the holder down a little bit, and then all you do is take out these implements. And you can buy brand new ones for, I think, about $8 to $20 per piece. So they're fairly inexpensive. And a lot of people will actually buy these individual ones and mod them to fit their Leatherman. And on the multitoolforum.org forum, you can see that done several times. I've never done that, but I don't think it'd be that hard to do it. A lot of times you're just essentially making this notch maybe a little bit wider and taking some metal out perhaps. But anyway, so that is a fairly unique option. So you can swap, and again, I'll just go ahead and push this down a little bit more. You can see right there, all I'm doing is pushing that down a little bit more. And then we'll go ahead, move these tools out, and there you go. You can get an awl. If you damage yours, you can go ahead and get it replaced. So most all the tools on SOG's website, if you go to, I forget what it's under, but it's under like specialty, not specialty, I'll try to put it in the video description, but it's under something else, and they are fairly cheap as well. Now, you can swap a lot of these tools. So this is a silver Powerlock right here, and so you can swap this one as well. Obviously, you can use this in the black one. You can get different colors, and then you can also use in the Power Assist. In the one handle, let's see, I think it's this handle right here, perhaps, and maybe it's, no, it is this one. And it's been a little bit since I use the SOG Power Access or Power Assist. And so on this one, you can use the replacement as well. So if your hook is too dull, then you can go ahead and just buy another one. You can replace most of these tools right here. And perhaps I'll put a list in the video of all the ones you can replace. And I feel like a lot of people don't know about that. So that is something SOG has had for years. And I've seen people say, I wish a multi-tool company would offer extra tools. And SOG does. So SOG has had this on their website. It's definitely nothing new for a while, but that is something that SOG sort of flies under the radar. And I understand because, to be honest, the Powerlock is probably one of the least favorite of my SOG's tools. But of my SOG multi-tool collection, I guess you could say. But it does have excellent pliers, it has excellent crimpers. Not a huge fan of the lock system. That's about the only thing that sort of bothers me is I've seen where you can actually lock this and then you can push this shut and the lock sort of fails, and it doesn't seem to have a super strong lock. But I guess if a lot of times you're using the tool, you don't want it to fall over this way. So maybe it's not a huge issue, but it makes me a little nervous sometimes. But the SOG does have that really good capability where you can swap out the tools. So I am a huge fan of that. I feel like the assist is a pretty cool tool right here. Again, this is something you can use the assisted blades. They're fairly easy to use. And then you go ahead and push this button back. Again, it's been a little while since I've used this. And then push that button back, and that's pretty cool. And then you can use the serrated knife as well. Then on the other side, you just have your essentially your normal tools underneath this handle slot, this cover, and then you can use those tools as well. But what SOG does extremely well is with the plier handles, they do a great job. Also, these wire crimpers, you can get a lot of force on these wire crimpers. Probably one of the nicest wire crimpers on the market. Now, one of the unique things to mention is that part of SOG's extra tools actually include things like this wire stripper. I don't think this works extremely well, but it's something that is rarely offered on the market, so that might interest some people. And then they actually do offer a C4 spike that you can mod onto your platform. Now, some of the tools on SOG's website not only work with the Powerlock, the Power Assist, but they also work with the Paratool. Probably some of you still have the Paratool, and if a tool breaks, one of the cool things is that you can go onto SOG's website, buy the individual tool that broke, and fix it. So that is a really cool option as well. And then I think it's the power plier or the pocket power plier also accepts some of the tools that are sold. So SOG is still supporting even some of their discontinued items. Now, when we come back to the GOAT multi-tool, again, you can go ahead and you can buy these tools off their website. You can go ahead and with the lever system, you can go ahead and remove these tools. Now on the GOAT multi-tool, what you can do is actually pull this lever back like so. And then one of the tools is actually this modular Allen wrench that you can then use to tighten the screws on the actual multi-tool itself, and you can do repairs and so forth with your very multi-tool. So again, that system is very cool, and you can buy these individual tools. Some people are making 3D printing their individual tools, so that is neat as well. But I did want to just bring to people's attention that SOG has had a system, I guess you could call it modular to some extent, because it's not that very hard to take apart and replace. And one of the things that's cool about it is that there's not a bunch of spacers, there's not a bunch of things to worry about. What happens I guess because of that is you do get tool clumping, but that's something that's just part of the process. And when I say no spacers, there are some washers and so forth that are put in, but not near like Leatherman and other multi-tools. Well, this has been helpful to you. Maybe you can go ahead and figure out if you have some of these SOG tools that you didn't know you could get replacement tools for. Perhaps that will be an option for you as well. And I'll see you in the next video.